Welcome back to another episode of Off the Rail, day 3 of the 2023 US Open Pool Championship. It's in the bag. I'm joined by Karl Boyes and Jeremy Jones. Karl, firstly, another great day of action today.
Yeah, fantastic. Usual scenario on day 3. It's when it sort of hots up, isn't it? We get rid of some of the lesser known players and obviously the superstars go through. But overall, today were a fantastic day. But highlight for me was when Earl and Shade playing next to each other. Obviously, they was on table 1 and 2. They were sort of sat next to each other having a chat. Earl steamrolled his opponent. Shane come through a bit of a sketchy match in the end. His cue ball was a bit loose, but he got through. So both Americans who have won it 5 times have made it through.
And JJ, on the American note, 9 Americans through to the last 64. A good sign for this over here?
Yeah, absolutely. Some players maybe you didn't think of, a little down on the Mosconi points, or maybe not many Mosconi points at all, but overall you look at like the top 15, 14 Americans, and we got 9. That's pretty solid.
And the last match of the day, we saw Tyler Starr in a real dogfight against Jose Alberto Delgado, coming over the line to reach the last 64 with the Mosconi Cup on the line. Obviously a big win for him there.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's been playing really well. I think he's kind of coming into his own, stepped up a little bit more. And, the pressure of the US Open can get to you a little bit, but he overcame it there.
And Karl, from a European perspective, no real upsets. All the guys you expect to go through, getting through. Expecting a strong finish from those guys this week?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they always seem to play a part just because there's so many of them. Obviously, we've lost Mika Immonen, 2-time former champ. He bowed out. I think Niels Fine, did he make it through? I think he lost as well, didn't he?
No, Niels made it through.
Niels made it through. Yeah, he beat Darren Appleton, sorry. Yeah, so obviously, the usual young guns, Filler, Sanchez, they've sailed through as we expect.
Good to see Francisco Sanchez Ruiz getting through despite his earlier ailments, having an operation a couple of days ago. Seems to look quite comfortable out there still.
Yeah, the draw's not been, the worst for him, so he sailed through the opening 2 matches, ended up beating Mickey Krause to qualify. He's sort of been over in the States, hasn't he, playing all over America, so he's sort of come through unscathed. It would have been a shame if he couldn't come and defend the title, but luckily he's had the operation, he's back, and he looks all happy and smiling.
And JJ, down to the business end now, the last 64 straight knockout. This is where the pressure really starts to ramp up now, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and we've seen pressure all week, but it's going to be none like it starts tomorrow. And a lot of big names in there, but a lot of guys that have been creeping up and trending in the right direction. It's good to see.
Well, I won't keep you guys any longer. The draw has been complete.
It was Thorsten Homan who got beat. That's what I was getting mixed up with.
So I've got a couple of matches selected. We're going to reveal them on air. So, first name, JJ, get your reaction first to this. Fedor Gorst will play America's Billy Thorpe.
Oh, wow. Well,
interesting.
Yeah, and, Fedor had to deal with a pretty tough American and Nick De Leon to qualify. Fedor obviously playing real solid. He never really plays poorly. But Billy coming into his own, and he's a fighter. Now, he's dealing with a major injury. Had a big slip in the stairs, almost broke his ankle, high ankle sprain. So, like I told him, he's got to put on as a Mahomes for the rest of the tournament, and he's the one to do it.
It's quite funny, actually. I've seen Billy bazzing it around the little mobility scooter all week, but he's actually had a genuine injury. So good to see him in the last 64, but he's got a real tough opponent in Fedor Gorst. Both guys obviously vying for Mosconi Cup spots as well, Karl.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen Billy doing wheelies on the scooter, flying around, so he can't be that concerned about his ankle. Obviously, it's not easy playing with injury, but I think at some point, a pool player who plays on the circuit has had an injury, and sometimes they seem to do better with it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it takes the mind off other things. They're worrying about the injury. But listen, he's got a tough match there. Fedor Gorst, one of the best players in the world. But Billy's looking good. Did all right in Connecticut, so he's making a late charge for that team. Obviously, JJ may want to see him there. He's got such a big heart. He's a big character for Team America, and clearly he's playing okay.
Right, let's look at the next match. An all-Asian affair, guys. Chang Yu-Lung versus Jeff DeLuna, both former US Open semi-finalists going at it in the last 64. Karl, your thoughts on that match?
Yeah, that'd be a good match. Obviously, Jeffrey brings a lot of firepower, plays a unique game. He has this big crazy cue action and spins the ball all over. Massive Chang fan. I think he's class. Probably underachieved, really, but he's always thereabouts, and he plays a big part. That's going to be a good match. And in Jeffrey's last match, there was a bit of needle. He played Dong Kwok Hwang.
Do you know what happened there?
Basically, what's happened is Mike Penosa told me in rack 1, Duang thought Jeffrey fouled. He said it was a good hit. They had a bit of a discrepancy, and then he refused to shake hands at the end.
Interesting to see that, JJ. But again, obviously, two consummate professionals. Chang Yu-Lung got to the final of the World Nineball Tour ranking event, just gone that Moritz snapped off. Jeff DeLuna, not seen a lot of him on the World Nineball Tour since that 2019 run at the US Open, but obviously in good form this week.
Yeah, absolutely, and it should be a heck of a match. And Chang comes here always to the US Open, and it seems like, you know, we expect him to win. You know, he's had such success around the world, but I think he struggled coming back off pandemic for a little bit, but now I think from this week's performance so far, he's getting it back.
And looking to the top of the seeds, the defending champion Francisco Sanchez Ruiz will take on Mickey Kraus, the young Dane. Carl, your thoughts on that match there?
Well, they've already played, haven't they? So they've played once this week. Sanchez got the win. Mickey Kraus, good player, decent player. I'm not sure exactly where he's at in the sense of beating someone like Ruiz in this event or going deep, but maybe he's another one of them Europeans who, if he can get a few decent wins in the big arena, he may be able to do what Sanchez has done, but I'm not really sure if he can get the job done tomorrow.
Obviously Francisco a heavy favourite going into that match, but we've seen Mickey on this stage. When he clicks into a gear, he can be a formidable player, JJ.
Yeah, absolutely. He's another one of those young talents we're talking about, like when it's going to happen, start to get deeper in the events. And some of his score lines here, of course, he took a loss before he qualified, but they were pretty convincing over some really solid players. So I think Mickey's going to put up a fight, and you know, FSR has stumbled a few times here in the last few months in matches, and I don't think he can afford to do that.
Another really tasty one with the Mosconi Cup conversation at hand is Mario He versus Niels Fine. So your thought on that one there? Both guys obviously looking to try and make the Mosconi Cup. Mario for a first time. Neil's obviously been there, done that, got the T-shirt, JJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Mario did make that team one time and had an unfortunate situation come up. And you know, does that match tomorrow between them two bring back? Was it the World Nineball Championships? They had that incredible match. And Mario He a little fortunate at the end, but it was one for the ages, and I wouldn't doubt tomorrow will be the same.
Carl, two great guys, but also two very dangerous players. That should be a cracker.
Yeah, obviously Niels has seen it all and done it all. You know, he's won big titles on his own. He's played in loads of Mosconi Cups. It's almost like he's starting again because it dries up as you get a little bit older, obviously, so he comes under that bracket. He'd love to go deep and sort of, you know, win his first US Open, and he's desperate to get back in the Mosconi Cup team, of course he is. Mario He, very good at getting to quarters and semi-finals, but sort of goes missing, so won't be shocked to see Mario deep again, and can he finally snap one of these big events off?
And despite an earlier scare this week, Shane Van Boening safely through to the last 64. He will play the always dangerous Chang Yun-Lin. Carl, I know you're a fan of Chang Yun-Lin. Obviously Shane still looking to get that historic 6th title.
Yeah, I'm a massive fan of both Changs, you know, Yu-Long or Chang Yun-Lin. He's another fantastic player, you know, real smooth, curious like all them guys over there. Another underachiever, I feel, really, in the big individual events. You know, he's another one. He's sort of gone missing a little bit over the last few years, but there was a time where, you know, he was getting to semis, finals, class player. It's going to be a great match. Shane, 6th. I think he's probably going to get the job done against Chang.
JJ, Chang Yun-Lin, obviously the 2019 World Pool Championship runner-up to Fedor Gorst. Always a dangerous player. Shane's going to have to be really at the races to win that match, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, during pandemic, when I saw Chang Yun-Lin come back, I immediately noticed he changed his technique, and it was for Chinese 8-ball.
Okay.
Kind of hitting the ball a little harder, a little shorter with the swing, you know, trying to compress the rail. And he had some struggles. Like if you saw some of the losses he's taken since he came back to the World Nineball Tour, it'd shock you. But it looks like, again, this week he's starting to figure it out.
I've saved this fixture for last because I think this is the absolute cracker. Carl, I think you already know, but JJ, I'm not sure you know.
I know.
5-time US Open champion Earl Strickland, who's safely through as well. He will play none other than Eagle-Eye Jason Shaw. JJ, that is going to be box office, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a history together in so many different ways. Like a boyfriend girlfriend that have broke up 4 or 5 times and get back together. But I think there's a lot of love between them. But I don't think we'll see a whole lot of it tomorrow. It should be one heck of a match.
And Carl, two guys obviously you know well. You've had great battles over the years. There's going to be some banter flying around in that match, isn't there, for sure?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, two big characters. You know, Earl's not scared to tell you what he thinks and show his emotions. But you know, Shaw won't be put off by that. If things get a little heated, he'll tell him straight. You know, Jason's for me, he's underachieved on the Matchroom stage, on the World Nineball Tour arena, the open events. He's had one last 16. I mean, for someone as good as Jason, that is pretty poor. And he's come here this week, he's really up for it. He's took a different approach, a bit more relaxed, trying to not, because he can be very intense, Jason, when he plays. So he's just trying to be a bit more relaxed, maybe not do as much practice, maybe at night just have a couple of drinks, just try something different. So he's going to be really up for that. And we've been following him around with a camera for the YouTube video. So imagine if he beats Searle and snaps the US Open off the first video.
Well, at least you get some views on your YouTube channel. That's enough from us, guys. Day 4 is going to be epic. Do not miss it. Live 10 a.m. Matchroom Pool for all the broadcast details. We'll see you then.